Fala galera do UFC Fight, Diego Ribas diretamente de Nova York with Chris Weidman. How are you, sir?
I'm good. How are you?
Better now, thank you. Thank you for your time, by the way.
No problem.
You're fighting New York again. You're from New York. How important is that for you?
It's real cool. I moved away from New York about during COVID. So to be back here, be able to put a fight on for the fans, for people that I grew up around, is awesome.
When you grew up, MMA was not even close to be as big as now, and now at MSG. How cool is that?
Oh, it's so
Since
cool.
you're from here.
It's so cool, man. I mean, it wasn't legal in the state, for the majority of my career, pretty much. So even though I was from New York, we always had to fight in New Jersey for a long time. And then when UFC was campaigning to try to get it legalized in New York, I was kind of on the forefront with them to talk to senators and assemblymen and try to figure out, and try to get it legalized. And it's amazing to see the evolution of the sport, the evolution of the UFC through those years until now.
And now UFC 309 against Eric Anderson and Eric Anders.
Yeah.
Is he a good name? Were you happy when they offer you this fight?
Yeah, I think it's a good fight. He's battle tested. He's a tough dude, big, strong, athletic guy. And it's an opportunity for me to see where I'm at, to see how I could perform under the lights. I think matchup wise is a good matchup. He's a good southpaw, comes forward. I think I have a technical advantage, a speed advantage on the feet, and then wrestling and jiu-jitsu, I think I different level. So
Nice. When you say when I see where I am at, like you were champion, did defender belt, like what do you still want to do in this sport? Like you fought in 205, 185. What do you still want to do?
yeah, I want to just be the best version of myself out there. I still feel like I have more to offer to the sport. I still feel like I haven't given my best self out there in a long time. So I still feel like I have it, and it's an opportunity for me to I have to do it under the lights. In the room against all the young guys up and coming. I'm still doing my thing. I'm doing great, but I got to be able to put it together out there. And with everything I've been through with the injuries and stuff, it probably prolonged my career with all the years off. And here I am, 40 years old, and I want to see what I got.
That's pretty cool. As you know, I'm from Brazil, and it's fighting is a weird sport because you do have a weird and special connection with Brazilian fans. Some of them like you, some of them don't like because of you fought so many Brazilians. Of course, Anderson Silva, Lioro. What's your what's your connection? What do you feel about Brazil and Brazilian fans?
I love Brazil. Every time I've been to Brazil, I felt nothing but love. People are really nice and passionate about the sport, very supportive of their own. So I got a lot of love for Brazil and the fans from there.
Pessoal, seguinte, a Stake preparou uma promoção imperdível para você na semana do UFC 309. Se você apostar no Main Event ou no Co-Main Event, você pode até dobrar o valor da sua aposta. Exatamente isso. E funciona assim: se o atleta que você escolheu no modo vencedor ganhar a luta por nocaute ou nocaute técnico no primeiro assalto, você dobra o valor da sua aposta em até $100. A promoção só é válida para as lutas entre John Jones e o Steve Miocic, o Charles Oliveira e o Michael Chandler. Não se esqueça que para isso a aposta mínima é de $5, esse tem que ser o seu primeiro registro no site da Stake e você tem que usar o link da parceria da Stake com a Fight, que está aqui no link da descrição desse vídeo. Aposte com responsabilidade e seja maior de 18 anos.
Do you remember how many Brazilians you fought so far?
How many? No, but I could go through the names. Yeah, well, yeah, Anderson Silva twice. Damian Maia, Anderson Silva, so Bruno Silva in there, Leo Machida, Vitor Belfort, Jacare. What else am I missing?
I believe that, yeah.
Yeah.
And the MMA, yeah. Grappling, you fought, yeah.
André Galval in Jiu-Jitsu.
Good amount of Brazilians,
Yeah,
right?
a lot of Brazilians, a lot of legends from Brazil. That I got
most
an
of them.
opportunity to fight in the cage.
Did you have any chance to learn some Portuguese, fighting them or training with them?
No, I'm too dumb. Obrigado, oi. That's about it.
I like her accent.
Yeah.
Really.
Thank you, thank you.
So you mentioned Bruno Silva. A lot of fans nowadays are talking about back and forth what's happening. When you recall that moment, when you rewatch the fight, do you think you did I poke him like 3 times, like he said 4 times. What's your verdict about it?
Yeah, no, I definitely eye poked him. Unfortunately, I've never eye poked a guy before, and it just happened. I don't know why. It's not purposeful, obviously. Um, he's a southpaw. He was lunging in on shots, and I'm putting my hands out to push away, and unfortunately got in his eyes. Um, yeah. Why he's probably hates me so much is that I was telling him after the fight, like even one of the eye pokes in the beginning was super, it wasn't bad at all, and he just like flopped to the mat and fell to the floor, and I'm like, you can't do that. And then he did it again with the other eye pokes with the finish. I'm like, man, he eye poked me too in that fight, and I didn't react like that. You just blink once or twice, and if it's bad enough, you get the ref's attention. But I think he was like looking for a way out a little bit, and I thought I was dominating the fight, and he wasn't coming at me anymore. Even in the third round, he was kind of like conceding. And then when I think I eye poked him, he was looking for like a way out almost. And so I was telling him advice like, don't just flop to the floor. If you do get eye poked, just get the ref's attention or something, and make it clear, that you got eye poked. But obviously, it sucks that I eye poked him. I'm sorry I poked him. It's not something I meant to do. It just unfortunately happened way too many times in that fight.
I mean,
It's tough, with these gloves on, man. Like especially if he's a southpaw, so this hand is here, and I got a pad on top of it. It's all about who's on top of that hand. So everyone's padding on top, and to do this and pat on top is very not ordinary and not the way you would typically do it. So it just sucks. It's a part of the. I wish they had new gloves that curved the fingers down, so we didn't have to worry about it. I'm going to say in the future, at some point, they have to do that because we train with MMA gloves all the time, and there's like no eye pokes because the gloves turn your fingers down. You can still grapple, and you can still punch. All perfect. Yeah.
hopefully one day you guys are gonna get along. No issues, right?
I have no issues with him. Right? He apparently hates me. He hates DC. I don't really understand. Is what it is. I've been eye poked in fights before. He eye poked me just in that fight. I don't know if he thinks I did it on purpose. Like that would be crazy. If like I'd rather just try to knock him out. If I can't just hit his chin with my hand, like for me to try to find his eyeball with a finger, it would be kind of a harder thing to figure out to do. More unlikely. So.
What I understood was like a week later or 2 weeks later, you and DC were doing the Wayne show,
Yeah.
and I guess they had a glass, and then
am I supposed to do?
I think he understood they were making fun of him. That's what I
They're
understood.
not
I don't know.
making- they were just making fun of me. They were making fun of me because they were putting goggles on because they're basically calling me an eye poke right now.
No.
They were making fun of me, and I took it in jest. It is what it is. I mean, if there was a part of me that would ever do that on purpose, then I'd feel like awful. Like I'd feel that would be a piece of shit. I would never try to purposely like cheat and do something like that. So for me, what am I gonna do? I'm gonna have to laugh at a joke. But apparently he like hates everybody now.
Was a misunderstanding because of the English and Portuguese. I believe he's a nice guy. You're a nice guy. No
He
issues.
seemed great after the fight. We had good conversations, and there was a lot of respect. But it seemed like maybe some things got mixed up in translation. And I hope him nothing but the best, man. I know he lost his last fight. I hope the UFC keeps him around and he has more shots at, fighting in the UFC. He's a tough dude. He's had some good fights. So I wish him nothing but the best.
Maybe one day a rematch. Why not?
I'll tell you, sure. I have no problem with that. If the UFC wants to do that, sure, no problem.
Thank you very much for your time, sir. If you don't mind, just to send a message for Brazilian fans why they should watch your fight Saturday night.
Hey, thank you, Brazilian fans, for all the support over the years. And make sure to tune in UFC 309 this Saturday, me versus Eric Anders. I appreciate it.
Tá gostando desse vídeo? Seguinte, antes de você assistir ele até o final, por favor, deixa o seu like e confere se você está inscrito aqui no nosso canal. Além disso, também confira e clique no link que eu deixei fixado aqui nos comentários. Através dele, você consegue assinar o UFC Fight Pass Brasil pelo UOL Play e com 20% de desconto. Se você assinar o pacote anual, sai pelo valor de R$ 24,90 por mês.